And a question submitted in advance: how will additional transparency requirements for providers be implemented?
Well, this is good. Again, we've got the Rebecca Sharkey bill, which people might be aware of, that's been raised in the House of Representatives. It's wanting to have significant, providers providing significant financial information regularly. It'll be a huge compliance cost. It won't be accurate. It won't be cleansed, and I think it'll cause confusion rather than any benefit. I think that the more likely transparency is, as I've indicated in my presentation, for residential care, it's going to be what's your funding for care, currently ACFI funding, by home, by each of your homes. How have you spent that funding? What have you spent it on your direct care hours, your allied health, on your medical, and what actual hours per resident per day have been given? I think that transparency is good. It allows an assessment when you can compare home to home, how many hours they're giving, what their funding is. And I think that that's reliable and it can be accurate, it can be timely. I think that funding is going to be very, very much good transparency. When we look at home care, I think the transparency will be similar, is that of the services that you've provided in home care, your direct care services, how many hours of services you provided, and a summary of some of the different service provisions you've got, and probably how much case management hours have you provided. And again, I think transparency when you relate funding to direct care, be it residential or home care service delivery, I think is good transparency. I think when we start to try to get transparency, looking at accommodation and looking at everyday living and looking at those sorts of areas which are really more provider areas that they should be controlling, and it's their own business model, I think that just muddies the water.